Stuff got crazier, y'all. If you thought the first episode was wild, you're in for it for this one. We're back to episodes 2 review of Uzumaki, the highly anticipated adaptation of Junji Ito's uh, weird horror saga. Um, let's Jarrell, you're on. This is it for you. Like this is your high. This is your cup of tea. No pun
Oh
intended.
yeah. This is
How are you
great.
feeling?
It's great. Um,
Fuck.
I'm not entirely sure what just happened, but I did not expect if the first episode was something creepy, sinister, and supernatural. This sort of just careened into full blown mind fuck territory. So
Body horror, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still collecting my thoughts beyond that. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'll say this that I immediately halfway through the episode I felt like okay there was something unique about the first episode. How it was secluded. It was simple. It was like almost like a little neighborhood like horror thing happened between these kids and nobody else was in the know-how. Now after the cremation of the father, now after that kid with the spirals on his back, it's spreading from neighborhood to neighborhood and it's not just affecting people physically, but now it's mentally switching people off, even if they're good intentions or not. Like the two lovebirds, how they were gonna escape together and whatnot, and it's like they did escape, but in the most effed up way possible. They got away from the families that they were, rivals with, but now you're, I don't know, you're codependent as hell, I guess. Yeah, man. I was saying, and you even brought it up. It's like the Lighthouse, literally, figuratively, meets Annihilation with like a David Lynch approach of like you don't not everything to be explained to you. It's just it's about the experience, not the explanation. It kind of reminds me a little bit of how I felt out of Tenet, where I was like, okay, I dug this, but I don't get it at all, at all.
Well, first off, if this episode was any indication, if this was a story that you were hoping would make sense routinely or be coherent routinely, you were absolutely watching the wrong show.
How are we supposed to know that as viewers, though? I mean, the show is just such a like going into this. I'm just like, okay, like this is obviously going to be creepy, but to get no explanation at all has been. I think it's kind of more of a drive for me. It's making me want to watch it a little more because I'm just like, especially when we get to the point of the lighthouse, there's a little more of an explanation. But no, I'm just curious to see how they're gonna explain a lot of what they're doing. But at the same time, it's just entertaining. Like I don't feel like I'm wasting 20 minutes, even though I'm getting no explanation. The mind fuck enough is what is keeping me kind of hooked.
Well, I think a lot of great art is ambiguous, though. Like the Mona Lisa is great, but like we really don't know what the fuck is going on entirely. With like why she's looking at you, who is she, right? What exactly is the background? Where is that location? Is it even a real location? So I don't mind it being ambiguous, but there's a weird nightmare dream logic that this episode tapped into. It was almost like blackly funny and creepy. Like when people were walking in circles, for some reason that oddly got to me because there was a strange nightmare quality creeping up. My best crack at what's going on here is that there appears to be something like the cordyceps fungi, but maybe in supernatural form. For some reason, is controlling. It's like it appears to just be scrambling these people's minds, and I guess maybe their bodies and spirits simultaneously for whatever malevolent reasons. Maybe it just feeds on people's souls and their minds or something. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just a flat out demon. I don't know. It's very strange.
Sam?
Everybody that has been affected by this has kind of ambition or desire or yearn a need. I mean, it started off with the dad, you know, being enticed by something, and then he became obsessed with something.
And that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
it was like the mother became, you know, she was grieving, but then it became fear. Fear literally spiraled her out of control. The other girl, it was more so like everybody paid her all the attention, and she started, you know, feeding into the Kool-Aid, and then it literally got too big for her own head. And I think with the guy, it's unfortunate, but every single one of them in some way, shape, or form have been connected and touched by each other. Like it's literally an actual infection. The unfortunate thing is, I mean, I think it's the chicken, where the chicken crossed the road. You know, like what came first, chicken or the egg? I think, truth be told, like you're not going to be able to pinpoint where this all came from, because again, I'm stating to you guys, this is evil. Like this, you got ninjas turning into gastrin slugs, bro. You got folks that like lovebirds just trying to make it out. They're trying to get out, bro. They're trying to get out of a small town, and they sitting there looking at these gastrin snakes curled up against each other. I was like, nah, bro. I knew where this was going, and I'm telling you, like whatever is enticing these people, albeit they are being infected, the source of it is very evil in and of itself. And it's gonna get worse, because now, unfortunately, not only are they physically changing, mentally and emotionally, their cognitive senses are working. They can't even maneuver in a straight line. Like these are just people, because they're hearing different things. And the sad and scary thing is that now you got gastrin snakes out there going out into the ocean. You got other people now that are seeing clouds in different cities. So now it's infecting everywhere. Now, what I didn't anticipate in this, I thought that this one town was just going to be sparkling to the 3 different levels of hell. That's honestly what I thought. It was just going to be the town. I did not anticipate this being like an epidemic. Like, if this had came out during COVID, they would have canceled this gastrin show, to be quite honest with you.
Is this because again, I haven't read the manga, I don't know anything about it. Is this the author's response to pandemics, or something like that, and him artistically speaking to diseases or something?
It might be a David Cronenberg thing, where like Cronenberg, if you look at his body of work, The Fly, it very much has to do with the AIDS rise and whatnot, and Videodrome about belief and mythology and whatnot. Like I think, because if I'm not mistaken, the books came out in late 90s, early 2000s,
98, 99. So if you think right before Y2K, or like it was filmed, I think August 1998 to September roughly 1999.
And you have to take a look into what was happening in Japan, or what was happening in the world that might have driven him to do this. And I don't want to pinpoint it back to just what happened in the war, because that still has an effect, decades, generations of like what's happened and whatnot. And like you could say maybe it's an allegory of him warning us to like not let our ambitions get the better of us. I'm tempted to do research and just watch as many interviews as we can with him and be like,
don't do it.
What's
don't
up?
Do it.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I'm curious as to I mean, I realize the timelines don't match up, but it almost feels like the author's version of like Steven Soderbergh's Contagion, but with some spiral symbolism ridden demon that we can't see yet.
I mean, at the end of the day, these people are, I mean, you could call it epidemic, but they're being cursed, bro. And I'm saying to you, don't go down that rabbit hole, because it's going to spiral you down these other different things. I mean, technically, throughout the world, there have been different placements of spirals, from different points of history. So we don't know where he conceived this idea from. We just know from 1998 to 1999, it's where it was. All right, I'm going to swap to the audience, because they're not going to listen to me. They're going to go down this road and spiral down. As far as the episode is concerned, it's going to get worse, you guys. It's going to be more and more coherent. Less coherent moving forward. Like, you're not going to be able to make sense of where this is going to go. And I think that, unfortunately, good people, innocent people, are absolutely going to suffer from this. I mean, we had technically the guy that was coming up against and bullying the other guy from last episode. Them jokers both turned into snails and made it with each other and made eggs. All for somebody to look at them like, oh, no, this is weird. I'm going to stomp these out. This is an abomination. Like, that's crazy to even conceivably talk about, right? Like, and you guys want me to continue to watch this? But anyway,
this shit was recommended to me. Don't do that.
I don't know how to even rate this. How do y'all rate this?
I love it. I love it. I mean, I think
rate the episode.
Rate the episode.
I think it's an 8 out of 10 snails for sure. Before we get to the conclusion, I do want to say one thing. One thing that I think is really eerie about this, one thing that's I think kind of creeping me out a lot, and I think Jor-El mentioned this, is when it comes down to like a lot of things that freak me out, scare me. Not a lot of things do. Not things don't. But it's the simple things that can just kind of like pull at certain strings. Like for an example, when you were seeing like the advertisements for the movie Smile, where you would just see someone in the background just smiling ear to ear. Smiling shouldn't make you uncomfortable, but in certain senses it does. When you're looking at this, the art style being black and white, it's simplistic. That alone is a little different. But then just a simple drawing of a spiral shouldn't be freaky. But in the context that they're doing it in is enough for you to get freaked out. So the things like the snails and all that did not have my attention. But the things like just seeing the simple art or seeing the lady walking in a circle, seeing the hair where the hair shouldn't be freaky. But at first, when you first started to see the curls, it's like, okay. So just the little things that aren't supposed to be the way that, like that's what's messing me up. But the things that they're getting really creative with, like the snails and the way the lighthouse was, it's drawing more questions than it is getting me kind of creeped out. You know what I'm saying? So with everything else, I'm just like, what the hell? But with that, though, when those things happen, I'm just like, okay, like, please explain why the hell this is happening. So it's like they're kind of hitting me from both directions, and I kind of like that.
I have to also act, and I've been, I'm sound so derivative, but like seeing what's happened to these folks and what their metamorphosis is occurring, it echoes again a thing, a film that a lot of us love, Annihilation, where you see someone turning into a tree and they're okay with it. You see a bear, and as they howl, you hear someone scream. Not a bear roar, a person scream. It reminds me a lot of this iconography that we're getting with this show. And I want to just say this, that like, I think it's an A for an episode, but I can't say I can't stop watching. That's the best compliment I can give it to, is that I can't stop watching, and I want to see it till the end and see what's going to happen down the road. And I feel like we need stuff like this once in a while. Like we need some stuff like this once in a while just to shake the tree of what we're used to watching and seeing, again, as off-putting and as creepy as it can be, it's a good reset to when we watch other stuff that's normally for us. It's like, okay, we're not just, experiencing the same thing. Sometimes like this, you need something to rock the boat.
Look, I'm gonna ask a fundamental question.
Okay.
And all y'all can answer. And I'm not just picking directly towards Ronan.
Go for it.
But what about this is good or positive or needed? And I say this, and I'll preface it like this. Technically, the last thing we saw was a child get burned alive in a lighthouse. Who in what mind would you think a child is going to get burned alive in a lighthouse, bro? You got two children curled up on each other. God knows what they're doing. And break every bone in their body and just slither out into the gosh darn ocean to probably go and conceivably kill some more other people. And then you got this boy that was picked on. The only guilty thing he was in the lake at the wrong time when the wrong ash came into the gosh darn lake, and he became a gosh darn slug. He was locked out. He was, not only was he bullied, he was locked out outside. And then the other dude that was bullying him snuck him and had a baby with him. Babies. Like, what about this is good?
So I will immediately hop on that. So this
wait, was that kid bullying him? I don't think The kid that was getting bullied. I don't think.
That was the bully.
No, that was the kid that was flirting with the girl, isn't it? The one that kept.
That was the bully.
That was the bully.
I took this the bully.
The guy that was flirting with the girl got rolled over
in the tire.
Oh yeah.
He was freaking rolled over into a tire.
Which, for the record, that image of the corpse, that image of the corpse stuck in the car is really standing out to me. Jesus Christ! But I don't know about the word positive, but in terms of like why it's good. Well, first and foremost, it is a horror show, and to say that it's lived up to that is a deep understatement. It's very much so has accomplished that. So it being good derives solely from that, at least for me, anyways. Anything else is just a bonus. So, like, again, there's definitely, in my opinion, some very, very, very dark humor sprinkled in here, and I have a dark sense of humor, so that works. For example, the two characters with each other's hair going crazy in their
fight.
They're almost having some hair foo, made me giggle a bit. People turning into slugs made me giggle a bit, but stuff like that guy stuck in, his corpse stuck in mangled in that car like that. Now that I mention it, it has been bothering me ever since I've seen it. But the things that scare me aren't traditionally the things that scare other people. At least it doesn't seem that way. The things that scare me are not like jump scares and stuff. It's usually stuff like this where you're seeing something that you can't rationalize, but you're more so feeling it, and it does not feel good, and it feels creepy and disturbing. Like the imagery, it almost kind of like even days from now, you'll just be walking around and be like, what's that? Where the imagery sort of follows you around. Ari Aster, he said that when he saw Carrie as a kid, it scared him so badly that it was almost like the images like followed him around. That's kind of what this is like. So I guess to conclude, the answer to your question, the goodness comes from just how it's actually is getting underneath my skin. Like, never mind what all it means. We can just worry about that later. But like the fact is, genuinely is getting underneath my skin, which most horror, like, this is hard to do with me. That's an accomplishment.
Yeah. For me, you say I can't 100% answer that, but I'll say, what good comes out of watching people turn into snails and whatnot, and like the kid getting burned up. I'll put it this way: maybe somebody today had a bad day at work, and they're like, "Fuck my life," and they watch this, they're like, "Never mind." They got the shit end of the stick, and they're all right, cool. All right, I'll sleep. But here's the thing: I think to echo what Jorah was saying, I didn't tell you guys, but the first night when we finished watching the first episode back to back, dub and sub, I couldn't really sleep that night. Like, I was editing and I was like, what the fuck? And then I had a relative be like, what's wrong? I said, Junji Ito. They're like, and they just laughed at me because they had read the books. And I was just like, the fuck you laughing at? You're saying nothing.
I mean, macabre storytelling is an art form as well. I mean, look at Edgar Allan Poe. You know what I mean?
So, but and I mean, maybe this is just my mind. If you know that it's warped, deranged, causing you to lose sleep, and it's sticking with you, I mean, never mind.
It's horror. It's horror.
What's up with you?
It's horror, Sam.
Okay, I hear you. Horror. What I'm saying is that I told you guys the first episode I would watch it, and if Busy watched this one, that's the only reason why I'm here, because I don't need none of this shit you keeping in my head. None of it. I don't need none of it. I'm telling y'all what this is. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's evil. But Busy, how do you feel about it? Where's your conclusions with this episode?
I don't know, man. I have a lot of questions, but I mean, the main thing is just like you are just dying over here, bro. Like, it's killing you, and your first thought is, "Oh man, I can't continue the show. I can't do this. Let me bring someone else and let them fucking deal with the same shit I'm doing." Like, you think I don't got a lot of stuff? I don't need this. I don't need all these questions in my head. Like, I don't know, man. This is
let a little horror into your life, okay?
I want to
understand. Move Disney aside for a second. Let a little horror.
Yeah, screw that, bro. It's just a matter of like knowing what I'm watching. I don't know what I'm watching still.
I don't either. I don't know what's
going on.
That's the point. Don't either. That's what pulls you in, is the desire to figure out what is more, what is this.
Bro.
And I promise you're gonna get the wrong end of the stick.
If I'm gonna let my hair stick up on my back, I kind of want an explanation on why the fuck they're sticking up on my back.
That's what I'm saying. Curiosity killed what?
Me, bro. I got.
Oh my god. Anyway, so
what's everybody's
final thoughts? What's everybody's final thoughts?
And rating. I guess it's getting better in terms of quality, but like I like the simplicity of the first one, but rest assured, I had a blast these past few minutes just talking to you guys. I'm like, what the hell we just experienced? That's a rare occasion nowadays, and I appreciate that. Hey man, I think it was worth the wait. 5 years. I mean, who knows? I mean, Gerald, you kept saying that like you waited 5 years. I remember seeing the teaser for this 5 years ago, and I was just like, okay, when it comes around, I'll watch it. But it has been on your radar, and it's something to rock the boat this year in terms of television. Like, again, and in terms of other coverage, Shogun, Fallout, X-Men 97, and then.
You guys are making me laugh so hard because this is starting to reveal the taste levels in the room. but no, I honestly, the more that we've been talking about,
guy that hates everything.
That's not true. But if it's Disney related, but yeah, no, I mean, the more that we've been talking about it, I think I loved this episode more than the first one, because this episode genuinely bothers me, and I have so many questions, and like I feel so compelled to like learn about the author and just like, why in God's name did he make this? What, to Busy's point, what does all this mean? Because the answers that are there, they're definitely not going to come easily. I can tell you that. I do not think that when we hit the end credits of the last episode, I do not anticipate us being like, oh yeah, of course that's what that means. Yeah, nah. This is like a story. It's an intentional puzzle in nightmare form. This is some kind of like, Beau is Afraid type of shit. Where if you're looking for an answer specifically, you're gonna have to work for them. So, but that type of thing doesn't intimidate me. I think that kind of thing is fun. The horror was more pronounced this time. Just the whole hair thing, that kind of freaks me out, especially when individual curls were like looking at people and like scrambling their minds. Like that's a little bit weird. That's a little bit weird. Because I mentioned the cordyceps fungi, the mind.
Yep.
Yeah, now everybody knows it from The Last of Us, but yeah, that type of stuff just freaks me out. I don't know if you've ever seen videos of that parasite controlling insects. It's so weird, because to imagine something like that in a human, it's just, woo, Lord. I loved it though.
Sam?
Oh man. It definitely upped the ante on the creepy side. The storytelling is very fascinating, where the route they're going. I mean, it definitely is pure horror. There's a lot of dark humor, like Jarrell said. I think if it's your taste and if it's your swing, I think it's all for you. It just ain't mine, and the joint's evil. But I do appreciate the storytelling of it. I do appreciate the artistic design of it. But I know where this is all leading down to, because if you're already, from the first episode showing that if you're infected by this, you can literally morph your body. Your body can be morphed from this. Now the second episode showing like your mind is actually being morphed, and by the end of this, I don't know how anybody is going to be normal at all, or if there's any sensible word, the word normal. And I think the sad thing about it for me is that it doesn't come from a good place. It's not like an alien came down and was like, "Oh, I want to test out on these humans." Like this is coming from people's souls, essentially. So I think that's just really terrifying. One thing I will say that was kind of a negative that I do think that this outshined the first episode, but the weird thing is I think that the animation in the first episode was better. I don't know what it was. There were certain moments where it was a character moving or certain lines. It just looked like the penmanship and the animation was way more refined in the first episode than the second episode. And I think it was weird. Like there were certain details that I noticed in the first episode, even down to the hair for one of the main characters. I could see her hair more refined and defined in dark spots in the first episode than I did in this one. It was a lot more plain canvases, which was really weird. I didn't want to bring it up because we were talking a really good conversation, but I just think that the animation was kind of dialed down. And I'm not sure if it's from a budgetary standpoint or they just have enough time. And I don't think they rushed it, but it just didn't seem as detailed as the first episode to me from an animation standpoint. So if I rested it on a rating, I mean, it's still going to be like an A-, but I just don't think it was as detailed animation as the first episode. And maybe I could be wrong, but
I sensed that some pictures. At the beginning, I sensed a little bit of that with some of the movement of the characters, and maybe some of them like their mouth open and then there was no teeth and whatnot. Like, but again, it that's how you know something's got me. Where like I notice it, but I'm not sticking with it. I'm like trying to follow where you're going. But yeah, that's going to conclude our review for episode 2 of Uzumaki.
Oh wait, Busy didn't go, did he?
I did.
I thought he did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, folks, hopefully you enjoy our review and our potential reaction coming down the pipeline. I can't guarantee whether Sam will be back or Busy back. I think I can rest assured me and Gerald will be back, and we're gonna try to bring him back because we're at the halfway mark. 2 more episodes to go. I think we could finish it. Why not? And it'd be funny in retrospect to see how crazy and wild we get after each episode.
Sam, you could do it. It's 2 more episodes. It's 2 more.
Busy does it, and I'll be here. Busy ain't doing it, I'm not here. I'm gonna keep it a stat. Y'all have already been swayed by the spiral. The spiral has manipulated you guys' hearts and minds. Busy, he's still in neutral territory, I think.
Listen, I love all kinds of stuff, but sometimes I need me a good horror or I need me a good mindfuck just to shake things up. All right, I just need it. I literally just love the Pharrell Lego movie. Okay, like that's it's all good and dandy, but like sometimes I need something to just to shake me out of this cold hard world for a little bit.
Going into another cold hard world.
Right. I feel like we're on the right side and they're on the left side. Like, I
gotta start going to church again or something, bro.
oh, for goodness.
Folks, it's just so weird. We're on this side and y'all are on that side. That's hilarious to me.
Y'all are hilarious.
Fellas, you gotta plug yourself. Jarrell, what can people find you?
It's literally just as it is on screen. That's my YouTube channel. I funnel everything through there. That's probably the best way to reach me.
Busy
Brown everywhere.
Beautiful. You can find me at Ronan Unchained on YouTube on the socials. And Sam, subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to Team GVS. With this, you get all kinds of flavors of media. We're gonna go. Take care. Have a good night if you can. And we'll see what happens and when the spirals return for us.
Man, bump this evil.
In the silence, whispers go. Shadow let go softly.